Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Ricardo Pena again here with you. In this video, we're going to be going over the ablution, which we call the wudu, and this is the ritual washing of the parts of your body that is required before you pray. So there are certain rules that need to be adhered to when you do this washing, and we're going to go over that right now. So the very first thing that you have to do is you have to make intention. And the intention isn't anything kind of formal, or there's no, prayer that you have to do in order to make the intention. As soon as you have the thought in your head where you kind of say, all right, I got to go and wash up for prayer, then your intention is complete and it's valid. If you did something like, say, for example, you got into a swimming pool, or maybe you have a hot tub at home, or maybe you took a nice bath or even a shower, and you did cleanse yourself physically with water, but you didn't intend to do that in fulfillment of your prayer later on, then you didn't make the intention, and that washing or jumping in a pool or being in a hot tub, whatever it is, and then it doesn't qualify. If you're taking a shower and you make the intention that, okay, I'm also going to make sure I wash for prayer, then the shower will fulfill the intention as well. So the second thing that you have to do is, after you make intention, you have to say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, which is in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Again, I'll say that. It's Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Once you say that, then you can commence the washing, and then you fulfill the two prerequisites for the washing. Now, on to the actual wudu. So the wudu is required before the prayer, but it'll be good until you basically cause it to sort of expire or cancel itself out, which are there's some certain things that I'll get into later. For now, let's jump right into it. So basically, here's what it is. I'll go through it very quickly, and then I'll slow down and break it down. So basically, you wash your hands, right hand first, left hand second. Then you rinse your mouth out. Then you clean your nose. Then you wash the face. Then you do the right arm. Then you do the left arm. Then you do your head. Then you do your ears. And then you do your right foot, and then your left foot. So I know that I rattled that off kind of quickly, but let's break that down. So first, when you do your hands, you want to start with the right and then your left. And when you take water and wash your hand, you want to do it 3 times. So you take water in your left hand, you get 1, 2, 3, and then you do your next one, 1, 2, 3. After that, you can rinse your mouth out by just taking some water into your mouth and spitting it out 3 times. So it's once, twice, 3 times. Then when you do your nose, same thing, you just kind of sniff a little water into your nose. Now, you don't have to be really extreme. You don't have to sniff it all the way so that it hits the back of your throat. I know for me it was really, really awkward and uncomfortable to do this when I first started. It's sufficient for you to just, get it in there to the point that you feel comfortable. After a while, you get really used to it, and it actually, it's kind of a good way to clean your nose, by the way. But basically, you take water, you kind of sniff it in, blow it out 3 times. If you need to, kind of get rid of some excess mucus or whatever, you should use your left hand. So you want to sniff water in with your right hand, clean it off with your left hand if you have to. Then, after you do that 3 times, then you wash your face 3 times, which is pretty much just splashing water on your face, and it's got to cover the disc of your face, like kind of up to your ears. You want to, if you have a beard, you want to just make sure it's nice and wet and go against the grain as well. So that's 3 times. And then after that, you go to the arms, and you basically want to take water and make sure that it's running as best you can. The water's running down to the elbow, and it has to complete from the wrist down to the elbow. So you do that 3 times on each arm. And then you move on to the next one, which is the head. Now for the head and the ears, you just do it once. You just take some water, put it over your head like that. Take some water, put it on your ear, and just use your index finger to put it inside, and then your thumb to kind of go around the back. And that's it. For that, you only have to do it once. Now, if you have hair, unlike me, unfortunately for you, then it's, you might wonder about what if you have your hair done. I know, sometimes sisters don't wear the hijab, and that's a whole other video probably. But don't worry about it. I mean, just take some water and just lightly put it over your head. You don't have to soak it. You don't have to really ruin your hairdo or anything. Guys, if you're wearing gel, and don't worry about it. Just kind of put it over your head and let it be wet a little bit. You don't have to ruin it. But it's once for the head, once for the ear, and then you go down to the feet. And for the feet, it's the right foot first, and you want to wet it all the way up to the ankle, and then do that 3 times, and then do the left foot 3 times. Now, typically with the hands and the toes, you want to make sure you get wet in between with the toes as well as the fingers. So, this has to actually go in that particular order. So, in order to kind of remember, the way that I think about it is I start with the hands. That's pretty simple. Right, left, start with the hands. And then I basically go to the head area. So if you think of this as the head area first, the face, you basically work your way up. You go mouth, nose, face. And then after you finish this, you kind of pause from the head area and return to the arms. Right arm, left arm. Then after that pause is done, then you return to the head area and you just do the head and the ears. And when that's done, then you can go down to the feet. So if you kind of look at it like that, it kind of simplifies it. So it's hands, work up the head area, so it's mouth, nose, face, pause from the head area, go back to the arms, and then go back to the head area, head and ears. And once you're done there, the only thing that's left is your feet, right foot, left foot. So hopefully that'll be an easy way for you to remember the order, but it should go in that particular order. Now, as far as the feet, when I first became Muslim, I was taught to, lift my foot up and stick it in the sink, which is very awkward for me, and I did that for a while, sure. When I was at home, I kind of thought, I could do the same thing by sticking my foot in the tub, so I would just open the water in the tub and just stick my feet in there and do it. But do you really have to stick your foot in the sink? You don't really have to. Maybe if it's practical, if it's more practical for you because it's easier to kind of wet your feet, then hey, knock yourself out, go for it. But if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, this is kind of weird, this is awkward, I'm at work and I'm going to stick my foot in the sink and someone's going to walk in, and it's not required for you to stick your foot in the sink. It's just fine to take water in your hands, cup it, and then go down and spread it around. And you'd be surprised how easy it is to get your whole foot wet with just a little bit of water cupped in your hand. So that's enough. If that makes it easier for you to get through the ablution, through the wudu, then great, do that. Another tip that I'll tell you is, now we should be doing the washing 3 times, except for the head and the ears, 3 times for each part. But that's actually an extra credit move, which is great. It's an easy way to build up some good deeds for the afterlife. But if you're in a pinch, for example, if you're at work and you feel uncomfortable about washing up, you can do it 1 time each. So instead of 1, 2, 3 on the hands, 1, 2, 3 on the hands, you could just do once on the arms, right, left, once, and then you can just take some water in your hand and pass it over your feet 1 time. The last tip I'll give you about the feet is, if you make a thorough washing of your feet in for your first prayer in the morning, or if you've taken a shower before leaving the house, than if you wear socks and shoes. And you know, the strictest interpretation of this is if you have shoes that covers the ankles. But even if you have socks and you have shoes and you don't expose your bare feet to the, you know, to the outdoors or anything dirty, then you don't have to wash the feet again for the rest of the day. You have 24 hours on the feet. So as long as you did a thorough washing in the morning and with intention, you said Bismillah and you did a wudu or you took a shower, then after that, if you wear shoes and socks, you don't have to do the feet again. You only have to do the tops. But it's good to take water and just kind of just pass it over the top of your socks, just really quick, just a very lightly, just, you know, take your hands, wet it, shake it off, and then pass it over your socks, and then you're good to go when you're on the road or you're at work. So, but your default position should be do a thorough three-time pass wudu. Don't, you know, I don't recommend you just going with the bare minimum because it's so easy to just do it a couple more times, and that's pretty much the standard. So that's it. So now that's the procedure for doing the wudu. So there's the intention, there's Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and then there's that procedure. Now, how long is this good for? It's good for until a few things, if any of the few things happen. If you use the restroom in any way, that breaks your wudu, and then you have to do that over again before you do your next prayer. If you pass wind, that will also break your wudu. If you bleed, that will break your wudu. If there's any kind of sexual intercourse or anything of that nature that causes any kind of excretion of liquids from your body, that will also break your wudu. Now, once any of those things happen, you have to do it again. But let's say theoretically, you make wudu in the morning for your Fajr prayer, and you don't use the bathroom or none of those things happen for hours and hours, and maybe you make it to the third prayer of the day. That one wudu you did in the morning is good for that first prayer, second prayer, third prayer. And then if you use the bathroom after that, then you'd have to make the wudu again. But it's good until you break it. As far as the breaking of the wudu for anything of a sexual nature, it actually requires a greater wudu, which we call ghusl. Now, ghusl is like a wudu, but for your whole body. You have to it's basically like a shower. It's possible to do a ghusl, you know, without going in the shower if you just kind of take a bucket and pour it over yourself, or you basically strip down and just, you know, wet yourself all over the place. It's possible, but for all intents and purposes, practically you're going to have to take a shower. So the full ghusl, in the same thing, you have to make intention that you're going to do a ghusl, and you have to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and you can say it quietly in your head. After that, if you go in the shower, again, I'm giving you the bare minimum here because this is a crash course. There is another sort of procedure to do that in a more thorough way. But basically, if you just get in the shower and pour over your head and let it go over your body with your intention, your entire body, you're good to go. For the ladies or the gentlemen who unfortunately have hair, then you have to soak your hair. So this is kind of a bummer, especially if you have a lot of hair, because you have to actually soak it through. It's not like the wudu. A ghusl requires a thorough washing from head to toe. That's it. Once you have that procedure down, you know kind of when you need to do it, and you know when it's broken and when you have to renew it, then you're pretty much all good with getting to your prayer. So after this video, we're going to be getting into the prayer cycle, which we call the rak'ah, and we're going to tie some things together, and that's what will complete our skeleton of your prayer and get you going. All right, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.